One of the most fascinating tales of Antarctic expedition is the story of the Endurance. It starts with Sir Ernest Shackleton's audacious quest to become the first person to successfully cross the Antarctic continent by way of the South Pole. Shackleton sailed from England in August 1914 with his crew of 27 men on the Endurance, a robust vessel built specifically to endure the Southern Ocean's ice. There were obstacles in their path from the beginning. The Endurance was stuck in the Weddell Sea pack ice as they got closer to Antarctica. The crew tried to liberate the ship for months, but the ice just made its hold stronger. The crew of the Endurance was left trapped on the frozen sea when the strain eventually got to great and the ship was destroyed by the moving ice on October 27, 1915. Shackleton and his men faced an uncertain future once their ship was lost. Gathering what supplies they could from the wreckage of the Endurance, they set up camp on the ice floe. They suffered months of intense cold, darkness, and running out of food supplies as the Antarctic winter descended. Shackleton took the audacious choice to take his men on a treacherous trek over the ice in search of assistance when spring finally arrived. They battled bitter cold, perilous ice floes, and the constant prospect of famine as they pulled their lifeboats and supplies behind them. They finally made it to open water after months of arduous journey, where they launched their lifeboats and headed for the closest land, the deserted Elephant Island. Shackleton left most of his crew behind there to go on an even more audacious rescue expedition with a tiny team. Shackleton and his men accomplished an incredible feat of seamanship and navigation by traveling 800 miles in a small lifeboat through rough seas before arriving at the whaling station on South Georgia Island. They then planned a rescue operation to get the guys who had been left behind on Elephant Island back to safety. Almost 2 years of hardship and uncertainty later, every member of Shackleton's crew miraculously survived. Generations of explorers and adventurers have been inspired by their epic tale of fortitude, leadership, and perseverance in the face of extreme difficulties. And in 2022, contemporary explorers found the Endurance wreck, which created a physical connection to this amazing story of survival and success in Antarctica's frigid wilderness. Maintaining crew morale was a difficult chore for Shackleton as the Endurance became entangled in the ice. Shackleton led them with humor, optimism, and unflinching resolve despite their terrible situation. He is credited with saying, "Optimism is true moral courage," and he put out great effort to maintain a positive attitude despite their dire circumstances. The soldiers managed to survive despite the hard and monotonous nature of life on the ice. To keep themselves sane in the brutal Antarctic environment, they played games, performed plays, and observed holidays. Despite the difficulties, the crew developed a strong sense of camaraderie and formed relationships that lasted long after their adventure was finished. With the arrival of winter, the team was always in danger of being hungry. They hunted seals and penguins on the ice to add meat to their meager supplies, which they rationed. In order to keep his soldiers in good physical and mental health, Shackleton also instituted a rigorous regimen of exercise and routine. He understood how critical it was to preserve discipline and a sense of purpose under such harsh circumstances. It took tremendous bravery and will for Shackleton to decide to take a small group across the ice to get assistance. They ventured into the unknown, encountering blizzards, crevasses, and the constant risk of frostbite, armed only with crude sledges and meager food. Despite the difficult and dangerous trek to Elephant Island, Shackleton never wavered in his resolve to save his troops. They fought through some of the most difficult environments on Earth, which tested his leadership and navigational abilities. It's possible that Shackleton's later expedition to South Georgia Island to seek rescue was the most daring part of the whole story. They faced constant risk and uncertainty as they sailed wild seas and hurricane-force gusts in a small lifeboat manned by just 5 men. One of the greatest survival tales in history came to a conclusion with the final rescue of the men left behind on Elephant Island. Shackleton made sure that every member of his crew lived to tell the story via his bravery, leadership, and unrelenting commitment to bringing his men home despite all odds. In addition to serving as a monument to the human spirit's tenacity, the Endurance tale serves as a powerful reminder of the strength of perseverance, teamwork, and leadership in the face of difficulty. It is still a source of inspiration for explorers and adventurers everywhere, a timeless illustration of what can happen when regular people are given the chance to accomplish great things. Scientific contributions. The Endurance crew produced important scientific discoveries while stranded in the ice, despite the expedition's main objective being to reach Antarctica. They carried out studies on wildlife, oceanography, and meteorology, and they produced insightful information that improved our knowledge of the Antarctic environment. Photographic legacy. The Endurance voyage was documented by hundreds of photos taken by official expedition photographer Frank Hurley. His images present a striking and eerie depiction of Arctic life, giving viewers a glimpse into the hardships and victories that Shackleton and his men faced on a daily basis. Legacy of leadership. Shackleton is regarded as one of history's greatest explorers due to his legendary leadership during the Endurance mission. Various leaders continue to admire and study his ability to remain composed under duress, make tough choices, and instill devotion in his followers. Impact on the environment. One of the final significant Antarctic excursions carried out during the heroic age of Antarctic exploration was the Endurance expedition. Since then, the delicate Antarctic ecosystem has come to be recognized more and more, which has led to the creation of international agreements like the Antarctic Treaty System. Impact on literature and culture. Shackleton's incredible survival and leadership skills have been the subject of countless books, documentaries, and films, thanks to the narrative of the Endurance. This has kept people interested in Shackleton's story for years to come. The tale of the Endurance endures as a gripping account of human tenacity and endurance in the face of hardship. From Alfred Lansing's Endurance, Shackleton's incredible voyage, to documentaries from the BBC and National Geographic. Exploration and discovery. The Weddell Sea Expedition's 2020 discovery of the Endurance wreck represented a critical turning point in Antarctic exploration. The extraordinarily well-preserved ship's remnants offer fresh perspectives on the circumstances that Shackleton and his crew encounter, as well as the expedition's lasting significance almost a century later. The world was enthralled with the Endurance crew's survival story as they returned home after being rescued. Legends were created by Shackleton's leadership and the crew's tenacity in the face of difficulty. Even though they were unable to complete their initial mission of traversing Antarctica, their amazing voyage captivated the attention of people worldwide. The members of the Endurance parted ways after their return, many of them heading back to regular lives far from the frigid Antarctic bush. However, the relationships they had formed during their journey held strong, and they kept getting together occasionally to talk back on their common experiences. If you like the video, so please subscribe my YouTube channel.